Don't let anybody tell you you can't sell your house yourself. You probably can. It's a lot of work and a very complex transaction, but if you're determined, persistent, and willing to do the research necessary to navigate your way from contract to closing, you might be able to do it. People do it all the time. The big question is, why? Why would you want to? Oh, I see. It's the commissions real estate agents charge. They're so high you think the best course would be to do the work yourself and save all those thousands of dollars. Can't blame you for that. When it costs, say, $18,000 to sell your $300,000 house, well, I can see where you're coming from. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that way. There's a perfectly wonderful alternative to 6% out there, and it's called Help You Sell Real Estate. Help You Sell brokers do everything ordinary brokers do and more, but they charge a low set fee instead of a commission. Now the fee varies by office and marketplace, but you'll find that it usually comes in somewhere between a third and half of what ordinary brokers charge. Of course, that means nothing if the house doesn't sell, but you'll find that Help You Sell real estate offices almost always outperform the brokers in the local multiple listing service in key areas like days on market, final selling price compared to asking price, and customer satisfaction. I've been in the real estate business for almost 40 years, and here's what usually happens with for sale by owners. As soon as the sign goes in the yard, they're inundated with agent after agent asking for the listing and presenting a dozen reasons why the homeowner will never be successful on his or her own. Agents will typically ask, if I could bring you an acceptable offer, would you agree to pay me just the buyer's agent portion of the commission? Most for sale by owners think about it and conclude that, well, half a commission is better than a whole one, and agree. What's odd is that for less than half a commission, they could usually hire a Help You Sell broker to handle the whole transaction, from marketing and showing, open houses, buyer qualification, offer creation, and management all the way through closing. Remember that $300,000 house we talked about earlier? You know, the one that was going to cost $18,000 to sell. If that house is typical of the marketplace, the Help You Sell real estate set fee would likely be in the $5,950 range. So it's important to remember fees vary by office and location, and of course, they're always negotiable between the broker and the seller. Oh, and by the way, that's not an upfront fee. Our fee is due and payable at closing. Now, thinking about your for sale by owner project, here's a great truth. There are really only 4 types of buyers that might be available to you as a for sale by owner. First is the local mover. That's the person living in the area who wants to move up or maybe to downsize. They do shop for sale by owners for a very good reason. Their number one requirement is usually that the house they buy has to be a bargain. Plus, even if they do submit an acceptable offer, they usually have a house to sell before they can close. Yes, you can find them, but they come with their own set of challenges. Then, there's the first-time buyer. I love first-timers. They're always nervous about almost every aspect of the sale, and they lean heavily on their agents to help them make it through the transaction. I find I usually have to resell them the house they've already decided to buy a time or two before we ever get to closing. I'm sorry to tell you that you probably won't find many first-timers because they are so nervous. It would be a rare one who would attempt their first transaction without professional help. Now, you probably will be able to find the next buyer. That's the investor or speculator. They are slightly different. The investor wants to steal the property so that he or she can rent it for a positive cash flow. The speculator wants to steal the property so that he or she can put a few $1,000s worth of cosmetic improvements in and then flip it for a big profit. Of course, the operative phrase here is steal the property. That's hardly what you want, is it? Finally, there's the quality out-of-town buyer, the person who's transferred in from another city or state, who has a job and needs to find a suitable home quickly. Again, I'm sorry to tell you, you probably won't find this buyer as a for sale by owner. Why? Because they almost always work with professional agents. Think about it. If you were moving into an unfamiliar city and had just a week to find your home, would you trust yourself to locate the right neighborhood, the right schools, the right house, and pay the right price? I don't think so. You'd seek the help of a professional. And that's what these great home buyers do. The good news is that if you enlist the low-cost assistance of a help-you-sell broker, we'll help you find that quality out-of-town buyer. We'll also help you successfully deal with the local mover, the first-timer, and the investor and the speculator. All you have to do is show up to closing and save thousands. We're very proud of what we do. We have an excellent program. It works and consumers save. We believe so much in it that we won't pressure you about your listing. What we'd like to do is stay in touch gently. Hopefully, if the time comes when you feel like you do need professional help, you'll think of us. Then we'll get the job done and save you a lot of money.